Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Debrief podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. I'm Ashley. This is the sound of my voice.
I'm Jenna.
And Cole, we were listening to a podcast that he wasn't familiar with, and he was like, I don't know who's who. And I was like, I feel like it's always very easy for me right away.
I agree. And also, I always, even if I don't know what they look like, I'm just like, well, that's a different voice.
Yeah. We were listening to the Let Her Cook podcast, and he was like, who's who? And I was like, that's clearly Kat. And then that's clearly Naomi.
They have very different voices, for sure.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Lovely. We are talking about crazy breakup / ex stories today.
Yeah, and you guys really sent in a lot of things.
Which we usually blind react and don't really sort through. Maybe we'll skim the submissions, but we don't really be we'll read this story or whatever. And we feel like we've been getting a lot recently that we're we kind of have to start skimming.
A lot, and they're really long.
Yes.
You know
especially with the Let Her Cook girls, I was like, oh my gosh, these stories are so long.
You know which one I was shocked at how long they were and how many was the workplace ones. People had a lot to say about that.
That's true. I'm always so surprised because sometimes we'll ask for advice and they'll be 5 submissions.
Yeah.
And then we're best friend drama, and they're 95 submissions.
They're and I hate her!
And if I ever see that girl again,
Do you have any crazy breakup stories to share?
The craziest being, when I was in high school, I was dating a senior when I was a freshman. He moved away to college and never spoke to me again.
Was that how he broke up with you?
It was
he ghosted you?
kind of dating, kind of a fling. It was very I don't know, kind of just oh, what is this? And oh, you're going away. I was going to say I loved him. I loved him as a 15-year-old. I was just I'm obsessed with you. And so I was semi heartbroken, but then he would just pop up every once in a while, and then I was oh, you're actually kind of a loser for this. And then he dropped out of college, and I was oh.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I have dated 3 people, one of them being my husband.
Yeah. I don't really have any crazy breakup stories.
What we talked about, how did you break up with Mariachi Man?
That was it. That was the breakup.
That's what I was thinking.
My first boyfriend broke up with me because he was just I just am not really feeling it. And I was really sad.
How old were you?
15.
Yeah.
Then my next boyfriend, I broke up with him because I wasn't really feeling it, and I liked Tanner.
Yeah.
And Tanner and I definitely had some crazy on and off times.
Yeah.
But
that'd be crazy. What if your craziest breakup was with Tanner?
It probably honestly was.
Yeah.
I mean, I will never forget this one time I worked at this place if you're a local person, in Latrobe, called Sharky's. I was a hostess there. I've had a lot of jobs.
You've had so many jobs. I feel whenever the place that you worked at comes up, you're oh, I worked there. Or if we're in you're oh, I worked there when I was in high school. I'm literally you were grinding in high school.
I was grinding. Well, my parents wanted me to know about financial independence, so I was trying to earn money so I could see these boys in my car.
Were you responsible for your own gas and everything?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I worked at Sharky's, and me and Tanner had been really on the rocks these days. This is I was in college, he was in high school, but then I came home for the summer.
And you were working at Sharky's for the summer?
I was working at Sharky's, and they were very strict about the phones, no phones. So we were kind of fighting before I went in for my shift. And you know what's so funny? I don't know if you felt this way. When you were working at those type of jobs, you thought it was the biggest deal that you had to really listen to the managers and stuff.
And literally, because I started working at Panera when I was 16, and because I was finishing high school online, I could work in the morning, and so I never was really working with any of any teenagers, but occasionally our shifts would cross over, or sometimes I just work in the evening, and when they would go and be on their phone, I was you can't do that. That's against the rules.
Yeah, I was terrified of authority. especially at like these jobs. I also like, my mom would always tell me like, if they like write a bad like thing about you, then like you're not going to be able to get another job because like you'll have a bad like they need references and they're going to call them and tell them you're always on your phone.
That's
and
what
then
my mom used to always be like, don't leave, which like I do think there is like weight to this, but sometimes I'm just like, meh. But like, don't leave a place on bad terms because it's like, oh, word can get around, or that manager could move like to your next job.
Yeah, and it's just like, once you realize like, okay, I'm probably not going to be in food service forever, like it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, they were really strict about phones. So me and Tanner were having this fight before I went into Sharky's for my shift. And then I was like working a little bit, and then I went to the bathroom. I see on Twitter that he had tweeted a Third Eye Blind lyric, which is our favorite band. It said, "I'm only pretty sure that I can't take anymore." Then I see on my phone a voicemail that says, "Jenna, I can't do it anymore."
What are you fighting about in high school?
It was always that like I was like really wanting him to like text me, call me, like be super romantic, plan dates, like be like this certain way. And he was like, I'm just trying to vibe with my friends. Like him and his friends in high school were so close. They would do something every single night. They actually did really fun, cool stuff. And in hindsight, it sucks because I love his friends and I would have been friends with them.
Yeah.
Actually,
was it like you would have been invited or not really?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Because there were other girls that would go too that were in his grade. But since I wasn't in his grade, they didn't know me. They didn't know that I was cool and fun. So I wasn't invited. So we were always fight about that. And we would fight about like other girls. Why are they there? What are they doing? You know, whatever. Yeah. So anyways, he's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to tell my dad to cancel your plane ticket because I was supposed to go to Florida with them. And I was like,
oh my
no.
gosh.
I literally come out of the bathroom. I go up to the manager and I said, I just threw up. I have to go. I immediately start driving 100 miles per hour to his house. So fast. I get outside his house. I'm calling him. I'm like, get outside now. We are not breaking up. You cannot break up with me. I am coming to Florida. And
how many weeks away was Florida?
It was like in 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
So he comes. I'm like, no, Tanner. Like, blah. And then he's like, okay, we're back together. So then we go to Florida. And that was our most toxic time we've ever had. And then the day we got back was my best friend Madison's graduation party. And we broke up that day.
Wow.
After the party.
So crazy that Madison's house or Madison's family events are both the coming together of you guys and the separation.
Yes, they are. So that was probably the most dramatic. But, I mean, it's not that crazy.
I know. I feel like it's a badge of honor to like not have like a crazy.
Well, apparently a lot of people do.
I know. And like people, like I have friends that told me that they wrote in and I'm like, oh gosh. Like,
yeah.
I'm scared. But there is a lot. And we also just recorded an episode before this, so we don't have much life updates. So you want to just get into it?
We're just going to read these off. Do you want to try to read all of them?
We can try.
If we go fast.
Yeah, if we go fast enough. And also, let's make a rule, and I'm always really bad at this, of not pausing in the middle of a story.
Okay.
Getting through the whole thing.
Okay.
So am I going first?
Yeah. Sorry.
Moved in together away from our families after several years together. He was always traveling, and I saw him 2 out of the 4 months I lived with him. He broke up with me through text while across the country by saying he didn't love me anymore and went on to tell me he never wanted kids or to get married / be in another relationship again. This was a few short weeks after discussing baby names together. Less than a year after I moved out, he got another girlfriend, a dog with her, and then he got engaged. Not to mention this was the girl he cheated on me with multiple times through our relationship, but yet he still texts me if she isn't around. Moral of the story, boys are trash. That actually is...
That's crazy that he still texts you. Oh, that's slimy.
Part of me, this is very toxic, but like I basically didn't date anybody in my 20s outside of Cole. Like the last relationship I had was in high school, but part of me, I wasn't thinking this consciously on my wedding day, but I was like, what if one of them texted me?
Oh, I mean, it would be such a great feeling.
Such a flex. Yeah, but it's like I'm literally never batting an eye at this, but that would be crazy.
I think someone asked us this on one of our other episodes, like, do you ever think about your exes during marriage? And I was saying, like, it does go through my mind, like, what would have happened in this scenario? I would love to experience a scenario where someone's getting married, one of my exes is getting married, and I go in the wedding. I'm like, no, stop, to see what they would do.
Yes.
Like on Grey's Anatomy, how she's
why does it happen so many times?
I know, but he's like, no, April, I love you, and she's like, okay, and they run out together. Like, I would just love to see and know what the response would be, with
agree.
no consequences. And then when it's over, the simulation is done. But I know in my mind,
you're like, wow, he really would have left her for me.
He would have. He knew.
How different do you feel like your life would be, like, if you married, I guess, like, the guy before Tanner? Oh my gosh, my dogs are fighting upstairs.
It would be... I feel bad because, like, he's a nice guy, but it would just be boring.
Yeah.
And I would definitely be the one that's, like, driving the relationship and driving fun.
I felt like that about my high school relationship, too.
Yeah, it's just, like, the guy I dated before Tanner just got married. And I've been married for almost 6 years at this point. Like, they, like, did the whole, like, live together, like, whatever. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I would have been, like...
Is she also from Lightning?
No, she's from nearby, though. Oh. Maybe from college. I don't know. But I feel like I would have been the one that's like, we should get engaged. We should have kids. We should do this. Like,
for me.
And I hate that.
Yeah, I agree as well.
All right. When I broke up with my high school boyfriend, he threatened to get my mom beat up.
Love that he handled it so maturely. Why you gotta go for my mom?
Why the mom? Okay, mom? As a mom, that would be so crazy if, like, your daughter and her boyfriend broke up and this one was like, I'm here to beat you up because of the...
Jimmy called.
Because of the thing between those two, now I'm gonna beat you up.
There's no other option. You have to get beat
up. The mom's like, what?
It's like, please. Okay. I dated this guy for about a year. First person I'd ever dated. And then I ended up dumping him because our faith and life plans just didn't align. I think she said lived about an hour and a half away from me, and it was getting too difficult to travel. He always made me come to him, but I did because I really loved him and he made me laugh and I thought he was great. A few months after we broke up, I get a text from a random number. It was from his other ex who he was currently living with. I found out this guy was literally not who he said he was. Turns out he has been arrested, didn't have his license. He had driven me around countless times, and he was on parole. The last name that he gave me was also fake. Oh my gosh. He even lied to me about things I wouldn't have even cared about necessarily. It was just weird that he didn't tell me. He was adopted. He wasn't born in the state he told me he had been born in. He didn't finish high school. His bio dad had passed. His adopted mom had passed. And his bio mom was in and out of prison. His life was literally just crazy. And I had no clue about any of it. He was such a good storyteller and would go to any length to keep the story going. Or maybe I was just gullible. Anyways, his other ex and I talked for a few weeks swapping stories about stories he would spin. She found out everything and felt like I should know. He'd been cheating on me the whole time, living with different girls because it was long distance-ish. We would always meet somewhere around the town he lived in, so I never knew. I actually got so concerned that I was involved with this guy and knew nothing about him. Anyways, know who you're dating, y'all. That is crazy. Sometimes I'm just like, how far does this podcast reach? Like, I can't believe people that listen to our podcast, this has happened to them.
I fully agree.
Like that. I just don't have any words. Like, I feel like people that lie and people that, like, are good at storytelling, like, it's not your fault. Like, maybe you're slightly gullible, but it's like, no, they were super convincing.
Yeah, I would love to see a picture of this man.
Yeah.
And, like, know how, I don't know. Interesting. All right, next one. When I was in college, I started dating a guy from my high school. We dated for about 2 years, and he cheated on me multiple times. I was home from college and went to his house to finally break up with him. It had been a while since the last time I caught him cheating, so he wasn't expecting it. I truly did love him, even though he couldn't let go of his demons. We sat on the curb in front of his house, and I explained why I was breaking up with him, and when it was over, I drove away. About 3 hours later, there was a knock on my door. I opened it to find my ex-boyfriend standing there, looking sweaty and exhausted with no shoes on. He had on the most raggedly looking white socks riddled with holes and absolute filth.
You should be a writer.
In that moment, I realized he had walked to my house. The second I drove away, after breaking up with him, he began running after me, and it had taken him 3 hours to get there. I lived 2 cities away from him. He walked over 8 miles on busy streets and sidewalks with no shoes on. In that moment, I pitied him, and I knew for sure that we were never getting back together, like ever. For all my fellow local debriefers, this is Katie. I mean, that would make you feel pretty good.
I know. What do you even say?
I'd be like, I'll drive you home.
Yeah, I'd just be like,
the no shoes
I would be like,
thing.
my dad will drive you home. Imagine that car ride.
Imagine the feeling of your feet.
No.
Walking that far with no shoes.
That
on the street.
Is insane.
On the concrete streets. That would hurt so bad.
I walked barefoot on our treadmill a couple weeks ago because I was actually, to be fair, socks on.
Okay.
But I was just like, maybe it's nice to just, like, obviously I'm not grounding or anything. I'm walking on a freaking treadmill, but I'm like, and it was not enjoyable.
It's not enjoyable unless you're in grass.
Yeah.
Or the woods, like
I also
dirt.
I feel like maybe you might know more about this. I didn't walk barefoot, I feel like, ever as a kid. And, like...
The ground was probably too hot where you lived.
That's actually very true. And I feel like if you do walk barefoot, like, as a kid, it doesn't hurt when you're an adult. Is there any, like, truth to that? I feel like the grounding, crunchy community.
I think I would say more so, like, not as a kid to an adult, but, like, if you're walking barefoot a lot, like, recently, it won't hurt anymore. Like, they say, like, you can get Hawaii feet whenever you live there because everyone walks barefoot. Then eventually, like, it doesn't hurt anymore to, like, walk on the gravel and stuff.
We have, like, very small gravel at the bottom of our driveway. And if I'm, like, running out to the car, I'll try to walk over it. And I'm like, ah! And I'm like, I'm so weak.
When I was little, I used to always walk barefoot on the gravel. And, like, now, it would hurt me so bad.
The worst pain.
Yeah.
But that is absolutely crazy. Thanks for
I wish someone did that for me.
Literally. Yeah. So did you take him back? And that man was Ed Newell.
I would love if that was part of that.
That would be crazy. But she says he cheated on me multiple times. All right. Moving on. My marriage was in the midst of falling apart when I met the man of my dreams. We fell in love within 2 weeks and I was convinced he was my soulmate. We even had the same birthday. I ended the marriage I was in for lots of reason, but being with him was definitely part of it. We ended up dating for 6 months until the military sent him back home to San Diego. We were living on a remote island on the other side of the world at the time. Ooh. When he got home, he called me and told me that he was engaged and had a fiance waiting for him at home the whole time we were together. I was absolutely crushed. Oh, no.
I think I know who this is.
That? Okay.
That is horrible.
That is awful. Like, you know, like, what? I don't know if you experienced this in high school, but, like, I feel like I definitely did, where it's like, I had a crush on someone and, like, I was technically in a relationship and I was just like, okay, I'm not really feeling this anymore. Again, like I've said a million times, when you're dating, especially, just break up with them instead of cheat. All of these, like, stories are like, he cheated on me. And I'm like, just... You were dating. Break up with them.
Yeah.
But to end, like, so to break up in a relationship and be like, oh, I wanted to be with this person instead. Okay, like, that's one thing. But to end a marriage, but again, if it was, like, unhealthy, if it was, like...
It was already not good.
Maybe this was just a way of getting you out, but my heart breaks for you. And, like,
I'm so interested to know if he's still with the girl that he's engaged to, and if you would ever consider telling her that you guys were together this whole time, because I would. I'd be like, hey, just so you know, he literally, like, we were in love.
Do you think that girls that are like the other woman, like even if they like most of the time they don't know, like if they find out that he's in a relationship, should always like, hey, girly somebody?
Yes.
I believe so too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would argue that they don't always not know.
That is
I think
very
a lot
true.
of times they know and don't care.
I have like, I don't know if it's on some reality TV. It's like, yeah, he has a girlfriend, but like, I don't care. Yeah, he has kids. I don't care. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're disgusting. I hate that.
Yep. All right. My high school ex-boyfriend cheated on me and was honestly just a horrible human. My now husband and one of our other close friends asked me for his address so they could egg his car. That is a real one, because they hated him for hurting me. And, you know, for some reason, high school boys like to egg people's cars. Right after they egged his car, I was getting weird email notifications about my accounts getting hacked.
Oh.
My ex-boyfriend knew me so well, he figured out all my passwords. To be fair, high school me wasn't smart with passwords, but it was crazy to me that he sat there to figure them out. He hacked into all of my social media accounts and was also trying to get into my iCloud.
Oh my gosh.
I found out he did this because he found out when I moved on from him and he was mad. When he hacked into my accounts, he figured out that it was my husband that egged his car. He then proceeded to get the police involved over this and took us to court to try to give my husband a misdemeanor. I ended up screenshotting proof that he had into my accounts, which showed that he obtained the proof of my husband egging his car illegally. This meant that my husband was not charged with a misdemeanor and had to pay a $10 fine to cover the car wash. I honestly find this story so funny, and now I can't believe we went to court over getting a car egged.
It is crazy that like you can go to court for custody over a child and then getting a car egged.
Ashley, so my dad loves watching Judge Judy, and she does small claims court.
Yes.
And then there's like this other spin-off of small, like a similar vibe of like a small claims court that he also watches. I was over at their house the other day. Literally, you would be shocked at the things that people go to court over. This one guy, like, I can't remember what exactly happened, but he was mad that someone ruined his hot wing eating contest.
Oh,
and they were in court. Then the other case was that this girl had a 3-year-old, and she wanted the 3-year-old to stay in the crib because like he would climb out, and she was just like, he's staying in the crib.
She's suing the 3-year-old.
She's like, please stop climbing out.
You're gonna be in debt for the rest of your life.
And the like ex-husband or whatever, they were like, they didn't live together, but he was the father. Mm-hmm. He like bought the son like a race car bed that was, you know,
like for his house.
No, like for her house, and like surprised him with it, like took the crib out and was like, got you this race car bed and stuff. And the mom was like, no, he's gonna climb out. And then he did, and she's like, I'm suing him for the cost of the crib.
Oh my god.
And they were in court.
This is like, if you listen to the bad broadcast, this should be submissions into Petty Petty Princess, where it's
oh my gosh,
you don't like just go get another crib, or like be like, all right, I guess we're in race car bed phase now.
I wonder, like, there was no really lawyers like on that show, but like, you don't hire a lawyer for small claims, right?
I don't think so. I think everyone represents themselves.
I would love to take someone to small claims court.
I'm pretty sure for small claims, like, you can go sit and watch. Also, there's a girl on TikTok. You can watch her live stream. I would.
She live streamed small claims court?
I think so.
Because there
was one person that went in that she was just like, I know how you do things. I've watched I've watched your live streams before. And I was just like, what?
That is so fun. If I was the judge of a small claims, I would be like, you've got to be kidding me. Just leave. Like, there's people dying.
Literally. I saw one on TikTok before. I don't know what this girl's name, what the judge's name is, but she's very, like, I love her stuff. I feel like I love her content. I love her videos. This piece of hair is my face. But there was a sister, like there were two sisters that came in, and the sister, like the aunt, so like the one sister had kids and then the other one was just an aunt, no kids. The mom like had dropped the kids off at like the aunt's house one day, and she was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. and like just dropped them off at her house. And she was like, I love my niece and nephew, and I'm fine like taking care of them, like for her to do what she needs to do. Literally so sweet. And she was like, I just need child support. Like I need help. Like I'm not married. Like I'm still working. Like I just need like support and like taking care of the kids. And so she was taking her to small claims to get child support, which is like, okay, yeah, very understandable. And the mom was just like, she was like, so why did you drop her? The judge was like, why did you drop the kids off at your sister's house? And she's like, I just woke up one day and decided I don't want to be a mom anymore. And
How old were they?
She looked old. So like probably like late 30s.
How old were the kids?
Oh, they were like, I want to say like 6 and 8 or something like that.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
like they definitely know that like their mom abandoned them. And apparently like the mom would like still stop by, but the aunt was also getting protective of them, where she was just like, they like are so confused. Like,
Yeah.
and I just need support from her. And so the judge was just like, you don't get to just decide that you don't want to be a mom anymore. And she's like, you also, yeah, you need to pay your sister, and like was breaking down like what the child support would be and everything. And she's like, I just don't have the money. And she's like, don't care. Like,
Yeah.
don't care. She's like, what are you spending your money on? You don't, like, you're living by yourself.
Yeah.
So there is like stuff like that, but I like that side of TikTok.
You need to send me it when it comes up for you again, because I want to watch it.
Okay. Might not be the craziest breakup, but I was doing long distance with this guy for about 4-ish months. It was right before Christmas, and one morning I was on FaceTime with him, showing the things I got for his family, and he told me he was about to leave to go shopping for me. At 2 a.m. that night, I got a long, vague message from him essentially saying he didn't want to be with me anymore. So I called him, and he broke up with me, saying he couldn't wait until I came home. He was flying in 3 days later. We ended up seeing each other when he got in and decided to take a few days to see if we could work things out. I still gave him and his family all the things I got them for Christmas, and he confessed that he didn't get me anything, but offered to take me to the mall to let me pick out something. While we were there, I saw him messaging a girl, so I asked him about it, and he said they were just friends, but never mentioned her before. I ended up letting it go and convinced him to buy me AirPods. There you go. He insisted that we split the price, and I agreed. Never Venmo'd him BTW. Well, the breakup stuck, and he went back home, and 2 days later, he posted that he was in a relationship with the girl I saw him messaging. Definitely still bitter towards him for obvious reasons, but I'm now engaged to the love of my life, and he's back to being single.
And you have free AirPods.
It's always just so wild to me how, like, some guys are, like, so unashamed to be, like, they know that they just broke up with this girl, and they're like, oh, I know that she saw me messaging her, but I don't care. 2 days later, we're in a relationship.
You know what also, like, shocks me, and maybe this is a flaw in me, is, like, him being like, yeah, I need to... Like, you're going to have to split the price with me. If someone was genuinely like, will you buy me these AirPods? I'd be like, sure. Like, I just, like, I couldn't, I don't know.
Bring myself to be, like, I agree. Just be like, sure. Literally, you're not going to eat for a week because of it.
All right. We are going slow, so I'm going to skip a few.
Okay.
One time my ex thought I was cheating on him, so he played I Know I'm Not the Only One in the car, and I knew exactly why he did that, and I very much was not cheating, so I cranked that shit up and sang it all happy because he thought he caught me, and he so didn't. That is... I have a friend who her one boyfriend broke up with her by playing her a Drake song. It was like a breakup Drake song to me. He's like, I have something I gotta play for you. And he like started playing it, and then he was like,
do these resonate with you? Because they're about to.
And she's like, is it all right? And he's like, listening to the song, he's like, yeah. She's like,
that's
okay.
Actually crazy. The
like,
lengths that people will go to not like say I'm breaking up with you is wild.
He's like, this song is exactly what I want to say.
Yeah. Why say it when just Drake can sing it for you? Oh, where to begin? My ex and I were engaged. 2 or so weeks after the engagement, a girl reached out to me to tell me she was sleeping with my fiance and had all these text message proofs. My high school boyfriend and I were together for. Oh wait, oh that was a separate story. I think. Wait, whatever. My high school boyfriend and I were together for years, and whenever I broke up with him, he would literally stalk. Oh, trigger warning. Oh. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry.
Okay, wait, sorry. The first one was its own story.
Okay.
My ex and I were engaged. 2 weeks after they got engaged, a girl reached out to tell me she was sleeping with him.
She had two, yeah, but it wasn't like fully like another paragraph,
Yeah.
so I got confused. And then I misread the next one. Anyways, he broke up with me by stalking me and then made a rap and posted it everywhere about watching me sleep through the windows. Now I have a PFA restraining order on him. People are wild.
If someone said they watched me sleep through my window, I would. That
okay, so like we talked about
me.
it in the last episode of like people breaking in. I watched a documentary when we were in Florida. It was called American Nightmare, and it was basically about this girl that got like taken in the middle of the night, and this guy, he was like a serial like night crawler, like essentially.
No.
And he would just break into people's houses, and he was just obviously very, very twisted. But this, like, so now that's like, I mean, it's always been a fear of mine, but now it's been like a more intense fear of like somebody watching me through the windows. Like, just imagine. I know you can, but like looking at the window at night and there's just somebody looking back at you. I would flee the country. I would pack up my car that night and drive somewhere else.
And why? Why must people do these things?
Why the night?
Can you just watch Grey's Anatomy and just chill? Like, you don't need to watch someone.
Really, it's okay.
It's not very entertaining.
No.
I can't. All right. When I recount this, I truly can't believe it, but here we go. It was my first real boyfriend my sophomore year of high school, and he was a textbook bad boy,
Ooh.
which is my type of course, who all of my friends did not like. He smoked on the corner after school, had sketchy friends, etc. Anyway, somehow people get wind of how far we've gone. My best friend, still my best friend to this day, somehow wound up telling her mom the details of this, who then, very concerned, immediately called my mom. My mom called me disgusting and made me break up with him the next day. Why would the moms...
What was the thing? I was trying to find the story the whole time.
Her best friend's mom called her mom and told her how far she'd gone with her boyfriend.
Ew.
It's so hard because I'm like, if it was my child, would I want to know? I don't know. Like,
I don't think I'd want to know.
I would obviously hope that I could trust them enough that they wouldn't be doing that, but it's just,
I mean, I hope and pray for the relationship with my kids that they would just, like, tell me.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, as a mom, like, you would call, like, let's say, like,
I would never call someone else's.
You would never call. Like,
no.
Even if it was, like
unless it was
Nika's
like a
baby.
dangerous
Nika's kid.
If it was a dangerous situation, maybe, and, like, she said this guy was a bad boy, so maybe she thought it was dangerous or something. But, like, if Monty was like, yeah, like, my friend Sally and her boyfriend, like, they touched each other, it's like privates, I'd be like, oh, that's funny. Like, I would never be like, I'm calling her mom.
Like, because that hurts your kid. Like, because they're like, why did you say something?
Yeah. That, like, breaks trust with them, too. You want to know something so funny? My friend, oh my gosh, this is so horrible. My friend, this is in high school, her boyfriend was touching her.
Okay.
Genitals.
Yes.
And she fully didn't have pants on. Okay?
Where? Okay.
They're on the couch.
Like at his house?
At her house. And her mom fully came in. There's no blanket
or
anything. And she just looked at her and she just saw her vagina and she was just like, okay.
And just walked away?
Walked away, but then like later like screamed at her. Yeah.
I don't know how people are so bold, especially in your own house. Also, like, I mean, I literally never did anything in high school. Like, I kissed boys, that was it. And because I was terrified. Like, I was like, even if we were in a car parked on the side of the road, like, the police would show up and, like, then, like, my mom would find out. Like,
see, I feel like in high school, I was just, like, ruthless. Like, I didn't care. I just, like, wanted to feel something. But now I would never, even on, I was watching Grey's Anatomy last night, and they, like, had this really steamy kiss in the middle of the restaurant. I was like, I would never do that.
No.
But I have had multiple times the police come up to my car. Nope. In high school.
Nope.
And
why do I feel like if Cole and I were parked on the side of the road now, I would be, and if the police came, I'd be like so embarrassed.
Yeah. I mean, you would be. The thing is, though, they never, ever said anything like, I'm going to call your parents or anything like that, ever.
Would they just be like, all right,
they'd be like, just leave. Just get out of here. They know how it feels.
They felt it before. My ex had a girl best friend throughout college, and he always told me he always was secretly in love with her, but she always had a boyfriend. He told me this before we started dating because we were friends. We had been friends for a long time. After we started dating, he was going to fly her out to visit him, and once told her he was on the phone with her in front of. He told her he loved her on the phone in front of me, and I was the crazy one.
Man, what do you think about girl besties?
That's actually funny. I on our episode with Let Her Cook, this was when we actually talked about this when you went to go get Monty. But and Naomi was like, if you are married, like which, like, I agreed with for sure, but, like, you can't, like, have anyone that comes before your husband, like, and, like, guy best friends and everything. She was like, but I do believe that, like, you can, like, guys and girls can be friends. It would, I don't know. Like, I feel like they should, if there is a girl best friend, they should be going over the top to reassure you that, like, nothing's going on and making an effort to be your friend.
Absolutely. Like, I think about Tanner had a best friend, Molly, like, all growing up. Like, they were friends from, like, the time they were 5. And then when I started becoming friends with her, literally we became roommates and we became besties, and, like, we all hang out now, and it's great. And, like, if he ever called her, I would never think anything of it. If he said love you to her, I'm like, you should say love you to her. Like,
she's one of your oldest
friends.
She's
the bestie.
Yeah.
And, like, it's totally fine, but I do think that girls have a secret radar for, I know it's, like, the most stereotypical thing ever, but they know.
Yeah. And, like, when Cole and I started dating, he had like his group of friends from college, and one of his, like, roommates was dating a girl named Chloe, and him and Chloe would talk to him, like, all the time and, like, call him about random things, and he was like, yeah, like, when we first started dating and he was in, like, Ligonier still over the summer, he would, like, drive out and have lunch with her. And I literally, like, he was like, and also she was dating his roommate. So I, like, genuinely never thought anything of it. And she was so, like, amazing that, like, when I came into the friend group, like, she went over the top to, like, make me feel included. And
yeah,
I never felt
think
weird
about,
about her.
like,
she was in my freaking wedding party then.
I think about, like, if Peter, like, started dating someone, we would be like, oh my God, like, be our friend, like, whatever. We would never be like, there's genuinely girls that will be like, ugh. I mean, you don't know him like I do. So I'm like, how do you have the nerve to say that? I would be like, you probably know so much more than me.
Yeah. As you know, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
They be bold. I love, like, the girls on TikTok that will always, like, imitate, like, oh, the girl best friend. And it's like, oh, like, there's one girl in particular, I forget, like, what her name is, but she's like, oh, like, she'll FaceTime the boy, like, the guy, and she'll be like, oh, okay, Cindy's there. Hi, yeah. Okay, well, clearly you're busy.
And she'll be like, I was just with your mom. Oh my God, we had the best time at brunch.
Yes.
It's always like that they're like besties with the mom and sister too. They're like, oh my God, I was just with your sister. We were shopping.
There was like one podcast that we listened to, I think was talking about this recently, like when the breakup, it like, and obviously that's different than girl best friend, but when the breakup is over, so is the relationship with mom and sisters. Like cut off, like it's now weird. And if it ended in like I don't know if that's a hard and fast rule for me because I've never experienced that. Like I've never been friends like with an ex's mom. But it would be weird, and it's like especially like it's weird in the moment, like when you break up, but then it's even weirder when another girlfriend comes around because she's like, why? Okay, so do you want her to be your daughter-in-law? Like
I definitely tried to do that with my like one ex that I like loved so much, and he broke up with me. I like really tried to be friends with his sisters still.
that's fair. I think I tried that tactic very, very briefly, and she was like a lot younger than me. I mean,
same,
by like
same.
2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Mine, like, she was like on my soccer team, and I was always like, let's sit together on the bus and stuff. And I'd be like casually like, yeah, what's he up to? What's he doing?
So like never mind.
So wait, I will never forget this. So Tanner was dating his ex, and I like definitely had like kind of a crush on him, but I wouldn't fully admit that I had a crush on him. I just was like kind of curious about him, and we would like talk sometimes. And so his ex had an exchange student. Okay?
Oh my God.
The exchange student was on my soccer team. And I would always be like, so, does Tanner like come over a lot? And she would be like, sometimes. I literally remember this. This makes me sound so crazy. I remember Suti being like, whenever he's over, like, do him and her name, like, do they like kiss or anything? She's like, I don't know. I haven't really seen it. I'm like, oh.
You're like, well, next time that he does come over and like they go into a separate room, follow them.
Just text me and I'll do it.
Yeah. And I'll show up uninvited. Unexpected.
You invite me as your friend, and
so
then
true.
We'll all hang out.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My dogs are tired of being in their room.
Did you read the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. My ex-husband got so drunk the night before our wedding that he threw up on his white suit pants while he was walking to the church for our ceremony. Not when he was walking to the church. He had to trade pants with one of our wedding guests.
So does that mean that you guys did break up?
She said ex-husband.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, good for you. A guy broke up with me only because I didn't choose the college career path. Dated for 3 years out of high school. I guess not having a degree wasn't good enough.
That's
so
weird. Who cares?
Genuinely, who cares?
Next one says, my ex-boyfriend didn't get me anything for my birthday, and I got really upset because we were long distance, and I was hoping for just flowers or something. He called me ungrateful and superficial and ruined my birthday.
No, that's definitely ruined birthday material.
As
someone that is a gifts person.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, especially if you're long distance, though, like, there's not a lot of ways that you can, like, show your love. Like, that would be a good way that you would be able to put in effort.
Yeah, I feel like, especially if you're long distance, it's like, just send me something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
A letter.
A letter, like, and then, I don't know at what point this was, if Amazon was really a thing yet, but, like, literally just Amazon something to my house. Don't even have to pay for shipping.
Yeah.
Weird. This one is really funny to me. My ex-boyfriend used to judge me for eating butter on bread because it was too fattening. It's like literally how
I can't.
The man just hates toast.
I hate like men like patrolling women's weights.
Oh my gosh.
Or vice versa. I'm sure that women do the same thing, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know y'all's lives.
But it's just sad.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. The person that's supposed to make you feel the most confident is like, you're really going to eat that butter? You sure you don't want canola oil spread?
Margarine?
A guy broke up with me only because I didn't choose. Oh, I'm so sorry. You just read that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
We're jumping all around now. This
one's really long, but I see something that makes it look like it's going to be juicy. Dated a guy for a long time. I could never prove he cheated on me, but he was super flirtatious and secretive with his phone and computer. We finally broke up for good, and he started dating someone else very soon after. They were being pure and not kissing till their wedding day. Well, he texted me 11 days before their wedding, talking about how he missed the intimate times we spent together and how sadly it will only ever happen in his dreams.
Ew.
Then years later, he's married and has 2 kids. I ran into a mutual friend from high school who immediately dove into how happy she was I broke up because a couple years ago he reached out to help her out because she was a single mother and he offered to mow her lawn. They sat on her front porch after he had finished, and she just said, I wish I could pay you. And he said, well, you could just give me a handy. Wait, I won't stop. She uncomfortably dodged the comment, but after mulling it over for days, she messaged him and basically said, you're disgusting. Give me $500 or I will tell your wife. To my knowledge, he followed through to cover his butt. I think he's still married, but I feel so bad for that poor girl. I really dodged a bullet and am married to the most amazing man. Moral of the story, if you don't have trust in him, end it. Don't waste your time because he'll probably be a sleaze and it'll come out eventually.
Sleaze.
Oh, can you imagine imagine vice versa as a woman, okay? So say there's like a single dad or whatever. You're like, let me come over and make food for your kids. He's like, oh, I wish I could pay for the groceries. Like, you can just finger me.
She said, oh, there is something you could do.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Can you ever imagine saying those words out loud? I'm like, that only happens in movies. Where he's like, well, there is another way you could pay me. Absolutely not.
Uh-oh, my pipes are leaking. Can you tighten
have to come back. Okay. I dated a boy all through high school who... Okay, we didn't rate this one right yet, I don't think. I dated a boy all through high school who wasn't the best when it came to our relationship. We lasted for about 4 years, but towards the end was super rocky. He was on a senior trip to Myrtle Beach with his friends, and I was at volleyball practice. When I left, I had a text from one of my best friends who was dating his best friend that said they had random girls over at their house. I, being a petty 16-year-old texted him and asked if there was anything he wanted to tell me. He responded that there was a girl on Tinder that he had been talking to and wanted to see where things would go, so he wanted to break up. I was shocked he didn't even tell me about the girls at the house, but instead someone else he had been talking to. I told him if he did that, it would be the last time that we broke up because we had always gotten back together and I thought we would definitely end up getting married. He was on a date with her and texted me and told me that it was so awkward he had no interest in her and wanted me back. I said, absolutely not. About a year later, I found the man I'm now with, and we've been together for 7 years, and we're marrying this year.
Aw.
That is so exciting for you.
Congrats.
That is, like, so great. Like, again, like, I'm glad that he, in some way, that he broke up with you and didn't just cheat on you with this other girl. But, again, who knows what he did in the house with the girls. But he's like, I just want to see what what this other girl is like. And like, she's just not it. And he's like, please, like, take me back. That has to be such a satisfying feeling. And then just to be like, no, you trash. Get out of here.
But has anyone ever ran for 3 hours barefoot for you?
Circling back.
You know what? I'm mad at my husband.
We get him back on the phone. She's like, why have you never ran for me?
Run now. Run here to Pittsburgh.
Yes. It's literally like 40 miles. But get going. Strap Monty to your back.
Stick a bottle in your pocket and get going.
Or else papers will be served.
Okay, this one, literally, I know who this person is, and she name dropped, and I'm just cracking up.
Ooh.
I'm not going to read the name.
Oh.
When I was in college, my abusive ex posted my nudes on a revenge porn website. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where incel guys post the nudes of girls they want to get revenge on, and they spend all their time finding out everything about the girls to try to ruin their lives.
Ew.
These men sent my nudes to everyone I know and found out everything about me, including my phone number, socials, email, and address at school. I didn't know that this was reciprocated, like that the men were also harassing her. I thought that it was just sent to like everyone. I knew that this happened. This is in our hometown. Then she said, then my roommate sent the website to all the boys in my high school. And then she says, shout out to the
girl.
name. That is so funny. I thought you guys were friends still.
Oh, no.
That's when I had to drop out of school for the semester and finally dumped his ass.
It's not who I'm thinking of. Like one of your friends?
No.
Okay.
That did happen to another one of my friends as well, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh. Literally, like, I remember, like, being in high school and my mom was, like, would lecture me beyond belief again. I wasn't even, like, doing anything with guys, but she was like, do not send photos. Like, it will last forever. And I was like, it will last forever. Like,
Yeah.
And that's literally what kept me from, I mean, no one was ever asking. So.
Please, Ashley, please.
Please. I feel like there was like maybe like one guy and I was just like, you're disgusting. But there is like, that is like truly scum of the earth behavior to post those photos on websites like that.
Or to even just show them to other people, send them around. Like, it's just so sad.
My heart breaks for the girls that like do send them and then when they break up, they're like, or if you break up with me, I'm going to share this to the world. It's like, that's actually, like, you can get the police involved with that.
I know. You know what? I hope you looked good in all of them.
Yeah. I'm sure he looks snatched.
Yeah. Okay. Are you on the last one?
Is it, so sorry. Since we went out of order, I do not know. Oh, okay. I don't think we've read this one yet. My ex-boyfriend used to park me behind his house so his parents wouldn't drive by and see that I was sleeping over. Then they even came over once and he made me hide in his room so he didn't have to introduce me. We were 23 and 25 and had been dating for several years. Ew, that's weird. I literally was like, oh my gosh, you're 16.
Yeah, that's what I thought too at first. That's really sad. I hope you guys are
broken up.
Yeah. Aw, it's really sad.
That one?
Yeah, you would feel so like, okay.
Yeah.
Am I
Especially
worthless?
after dating several years.
And also being older. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like something that would happen.
I wonder if his parents were like really like religious and they were like, no sleepovers. If
But
you're
he
like
didn't
going to be in
wanna
my
even,
house.
Like, no, that it was in a different house. He had his own house.
Oh, really?
She said they would drive by his house and see her car parked there.
Oh, what the? That's so weird.
Yeah. Probably makes you feel so, like, bad about yourself.
You're like, and it should.
You suck.
I do see another one if you want to read another one or no.
Oh, I didn't see it, so you can read one.
Oh, okay. I was once on vacation with my ex-boyfriend on a sunrise cruise.
Ooh.
In one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. A fly landed on his head and I swatted it off and he seriously got so mad and yelled, "You bitch," so loud and everyone heard. I almost threw myself off the boat and finished the vacation alone.
He had pent up anger in there.
For real. I thought that like I don't know. I can understand. Everyone knows my hatred for flies. I be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But the fact that he reacted so abruptly is ridiculous.
Yeah. Dang. You guys have been through it.
You really have. And I'm so sorry that we do not reciprocate the same stories.
I was going to ask you on a totally separate note if you have any Valentine's Day plans.
Ooh. Not as of now. I should get thinking about that. We both did say that we were going to get each other presents, which is just so funny because we didn't get each other Christmas presents at all.
Well, I feel like Valentine's is like, okay, I'm only getting something for you. But like Christmas is like, oh, I got to think about your dad and then this. And
yeah,
it's easier to not.
Yeah, Valentine's, I really love. And I just think it's so sweet. I feel like there's so many people that are like, don't show me that you love me just on this one day. And like, he definitely doesn't. Like,
and he definitely does.
Yeah. And it really is the only day I receive love from him. So I really have to cash in.
Yeah.
But I just like, I think it's a fun like holiday to like celebrate like the fact that we're in love.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what we'll do. I feel like I had like in the past, like we've done like sentimental gifts. Like I think last Valentine's is when he like pressed our wedding flowers for me and like did like the sketch and everything. So we've done like sentimental stuff before, but I can't say what it is because he edits the podcast. I was just thinking of getting him another thing of something that he has that he's been obsessed with.
Cute.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I don't think we'll do gifts, but, well, unfortunately, I am going to shoot an elopement on Valentine's Day. It was, like, kind of last minute, but I feel like whenever, like, with a child, like, I don't want to take that away from someone else. Valentine's Day, so I probably wouldn't plan something for that day anyways because I just like feel bad. Even like New Year's Eve, I like felt bad asking my parents to watch her because I was like, well, if you guys want to do something, I don't want to like make you not do anything.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do something maybe like the day before, but haven't planned anything yet. We've really been wanting to go to that, I don't know how it's pronounced, Pusadi's Garden.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know reservations are really hard to come by, so especially I'm sure for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think they're in the same ballpark of reservations like Gaijin.
Yeah.
And maybe not as intense, but it definitely is like a few weeks out.
Yeah. We went on a date like the other week and we like kind of didn't really know what we were going to do going into it, and we just ended up going to the mall and getting Chinese food. And we were like,
so good.
This is just so much more what we actually like to do. It's so easy to fall into, like, with the dates feeling like, well, I have to do, like, these things. Like,
yeah.
I have to go out to, like, a nice dinner every time or whatever. And it's like, you can just do whatever you want to do. Like, you don't have, especially it feels more pressure when you, like, get a babysitter and stuff. But it's like,
have to make it this big thing.
Yeah. So I don't know what we'll do, but I am excited to, like, give Monty some Valentine's stuff too. I got her so far like a little stuffed beagle that has like hearts on it and stuff, and I'm gonna get her some other stuff. So I think that'll be fun.
Loved about Valentine's Day is my grandma used to like, it always used to be like small little things, but like, and she would write me a card, and I'm like, I just love, like, I mean, let's be real, I love any holiday to buy gifts for.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's like another sweet one to like celebrate, of just like, oh, just like celebrating the people you love. And like obviously growing up, did you guys like have like Valentine's Day like, or like Valentine hearts or something that like you could buy at school and like send them to people?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the thrill of if you got
when like the student council person would walk in the room, they would have, ours were roses. They would have roses and you would be like, are they gonna say it's for me?
Yes. And that like, and candy canes at Christmas too, like I was just like, oh my gosh, like
who will send me one?
I feel like one year I might have gotten a secret admirer and I was like, you're joking, like
a dream.
I am so cool, like, oh gosh, Cole and I were talking about high school recently and I was just like, I had the best experience. Like I don't really wish I could go back and like, oh, this is kind of like a side note too, but this is like the same vibe. Our church staff is going to a conference and it's in Atlanta, so we have to fly there. And yeah, and like they the other day were like, okay, like you can like pay, like you can get on any flight that you want and like we'll match it up to this, but if this is the flight that we're suggesting, and it was like a Southwest flight, and so like most people are just gonna book that one. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I was in high school, I went on a mission trip every year, and it was always to Belize. And so like it would be a Friday, we leave on a Friday, everybody would get in a bus and we drive to LAX and we get in and out beforehand, and then we're sitting at the gate and we get on a plane together with all of your friends, and
oh my gosh,
it was the best. And so I was telling Ed and Katie, I was like, I never thought I'd get that feeling back again, but this is what that feels like.
When is the conference?
Where or what?
When is it?
May 1st. It's Drive Conference at New Spring? No, Andy Stanley's church.
Fun.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Oh my gosh, it'll be so much fun. And I love all of the people that are on staff, so it's like...
Are you going to stay in the hotel together too? Like,
yes.
Close?
Well, like Katie and I were
fun.
talking to... I think actually they were like telling us how hotels were being broken down, or like hotel rooms were being broken down, and like king beds like went to all the couples. We have so many like, I think there's like 4 married couples on staff.
Aw.
And now we're only like a staff of like 20. So
That's
it's
so
like,
cute.
There's a lot of us. But Katie and I were like, we should make Cole and Ed bunk together.
That's so cute.
But yeah, I'm really excited that it'll be fun. But those memories from high school are like some of my favorite.
I loved high school.
It was the best. I loved prom.
It's great.
And you guys did like, we didn't do like full on homecomings and everything too.
Yeah, we did.
Any reason to dress up and dance. Oh, it was my favorite.
So fun.
I actually was thinking about this because I think I saw a girl that used to come to our church post this on her her Facebook. She did a prom for her 30th birthday. And I was like, yes. It's literally 5 years away. But I was like, that sounds like the best time ever. Like, all like, hopefully like we have kids by then and like get sitters for the kids. And then all of our friends just dress up and dance.
It would be so
like a
fun, but
second
here's
wedding.
the thing. Everybody has to be into it equally,
Yes.
or else the vibes are off.
Yes.
And that is one of the worst things that can happen.
Yes. We
He's
hired
like-
DJ Andrew Smith again.
Yes.
Basically just run our wedding back.
I would love to do something for our 10-year, like a party. That is like, not like a wedding, but just like fun outside.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Good vibes for sure. When we've talked about this trip for years, but I feel like we do it like as families. When
The
like,
houseboat?
yes.
We have to do it.
My friend, I've told you this before, my friend in high school had a houseboat and we like, there multiple families stayed on the boat and it was like so much fun. I can
We
just imagine
have
that
to
with
do
all
it.
of our friends and like the kids and everything.
We'll just take one room and just black it out and put the
All
sound
of the
machine on,
children.
and the kids can just be in there.
Oh, the best. I love like those trips that just like stick with you. And like Hawaii, like when we all went, was definitely one of those. And I'm like, I'm just chasing that feeling.
I know, traveling is just truly the best.
Yep. Well, all right. Nothing else to say.
Nothing else to say.
I'm hungry.
Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Love ya. See ya.
Bye.